Hey guys, today we're taking you on a tour of places that'll leave just one question exploding in your head. Can a human actually go there for real? Because these aren't just tourist spots. These are Earth's most dangerous, most high-voltage adventure zones. Picture this: a mountain with an ancient building hanging off its peak so precariously that even the wind gets scared looking at it. A valley so deep that when you peek down, all you see is pitch-black darkness and the cold breath of death. A temple glued to a cliff like gravity just gave up messing with it. And a pillar where one dude lived alone all year round, basically meditating in a house suspended in the sky. A lot of people go, "Nah, it's all Photoshop." But today, in this video, we're showing you the truth. The truth that humans sliced through mountains to build temples, hung homes beyond the clouds, and carved paths on rocks so insane your legs will hit the brakes on their own. And just think, the world is huge, but the most dangerous places are always the ones stuck right between insane beauty and pure terror. Sometimes it honestly feels like nature herself said, "If you've got the guts, come closer and see." So buckle up, guys, because in the next few minutes, we're taking you to spots where fear, mystery, and pure thrill are cranked up to the max. Let's roll. Here comes this epic, heart-pounding journey. Gulangyu Island, China. From far away, Gulangyu looks like a calm, tiny, gorgeous little island. But the story doesn't end there. Back in the day, the storms around this island were so brutal that sailors called it the Ghost Island. Even now, the wind direction flips in a second. The ocean loses its chill in the blink of an eye, and the paths are so narrow that one wrong step means a straight date with the crashing waves below. The moment you step off, you're hit with, "If this peaceful place is already this deadly, what the heck is coming next?" And right then, your next stop starts calling you. Mount Tai, China. Mount Tai is one of China's most sacred and ancient mountain ranges. But getting up there? Not easy. Hundreds of years old, insanely steep, straight up, dangerous steps. The wind rips so hard people cling to the railing just to climb. The higher you go, the clouds end up below you, and visibility drops to half in a heartbeat. For a lot of people, this is a spiritual pilgrimage. But the real deal is this mountain tests you physically and mentally. No mercy. And you're standing there thinking, that was already this sketchy. Then what's waiting at Wudang Mountain? Wudang Mountain, China. Wudang Mountain is famous for those temples that are literally hanging off the edge of cliffs. The paths here are so narrow that even two people can barely squeeze past each other. Straight drop below. 2,000 feet deep. Thick fog rolling in from above, and right in the middle, you. This is where a ton of Kung Fu and Taoism legends were born. But the scariest part? These rocks get so slippery that one little rainstorm turns the whole mountain into a giant slip-and-slide park. Now, if this already sounds insane, just wait. The next spot was basically built for people with zero survival instinct. Mount TT, China. Mount TT isn't super famous, but its steepness will tell you the whole story. This mountain is so vertical that in some sections the ground looks straight up 90 degrees. The wind here rips like firecrackers, and because it's sandstone, chunks can just crumble away anytime. Tourists say, climbing here isn't climbing. It's literally fighting gravity to stay alive. Now, in a country with natural terrain this sketchy, where do you think they put the temples? Let's hit the next spot. Yungang Grottos. On the surface, China's Yungang Grottos look as peaceful as it gets, but it's just as deadly. Picture this. You're standing between 1,500-year-old massive rock faces with over 50,000 Buddha statues carved into them. A light breeze blows, and dust from the rocks rains down on your shoulders like the mountain is still breathing. But the real terror kicks in when you realize this entire area is built on super unstable cliffs. One tiny tremor and giant boulders could come crashing down. In summer, the heat makes the rocks expand. In winter, they shrink. This constant pressure turns them into a natural time bomb. Walking those narrow paths, every single step feels like the deep valley below is pulling you in. And suddenly, the question hits you. How the heck has this fragile place stood here for hundreds of years? That's the beauty and the deadly mystery of Yungang. Katskhi Pillar, Georgia. Now just imagine a 130-foot straight-up rock pillar with a tiny little house built on top where one monk once lived completely alone for years. This is Georgia's Katskhi Pillar, one of the weirdest and most dangerous religious spots on the planet. The way up? An old, shaky metal ladder that sways like crazy. The wind hits so hard while you're climbing, it feels like someone decided to airlift you, whether you like it or not. The pillar is so narrow that once you're on top, you can't even see the ground anymore. Just open sky all around, and a sheer drop below. People say this place was made for pure faith, but let's be real. This is the ultimate test of human guts. Because once you get up there, you finally get it. Some people really wanted to cut themselves off from the world and live as close to God as it gets. Casas Colgadas, Spain. The second you lay eyes on Spain's Casas Colgadas, it feels like someone straight up trolled gravity and just hung houses in midair. These homes are dangling right on the edge of a gorge, so close that when you lean over the balcony, your legs instantly start tingling like crazy. Those centuries-old wooden balconies creak and sway in strong wind like old pirate ships fighting a storm. The scariest part? That cliff, straight down, insanely deep. 0 guardrails. Locals say this isn't architecture, it's the art of pure madness. Tons of tourists stand here cracking jokes like, if you get in a fight in one of these houses, there's literally nowhere to storm out to. But when you're actually there feeling the cold breeze, the insane drop, and how precariously these houses sit, you really get it. Humans build their world with some next-level guts. Hanging Monastery, China. First thing that hits you looking at China's Hanging Monastery is, how the heck is this thing still hanging? Picture this. An entire temple dangling off a sheer cliff, hundreds of feet of nothing below, and constant howling wind pressing from above. The whole structure is balanced on skinny wooden beams hammered into the rock. Beams so thin that even today engineers stare at them, wondering why they haven't snapped in centuries. When the wind hits 45 to 50 miles per hour, the wooden floors and pillars shiver just enough that it feels like the entire building is slowly nudging you toward the drop. Walking here feels exactly like crossing a rickety suspension bridge, except the bridge is shaking, and the only thing waiting below is game over. People come here looking for peace. They leave with their heart pounding out of their chest. That's the real thrill of the Hanging Monastery. Meteora, Greece. When you see Meteora in Greece, it looks like the Earth decided to hang a magical kingdom right in the clouds. Imagine rock pillars shooting hundreds of feet straight up, and ancient monasteries plopped right on top like some giant casually stacked buildings on massive stones and walked away. Back in the day, people got up there by dangling in rope ladders and net baskets that swung in the wind like God himself was either pulling you up or warning you he might drop you. Now, there are stairs, but the climb is still hell. Narrow, sketchy paths carved between the rocks, with endless nothingness below. standing up there, you realize you're not on solid ground anymore. You're literally inside a temple floating in the sky. And when strong wind kicks in and clouds roll under your feet, this crazy shiver shoots through your whole body, like you just became part of some ancient secret. Sümele Monastery, Turkey. Turkey's Sümele Monastery looks like the mountain straight up hid a secret temple inside its own wall. This monastery is carved right into the middle of a cliff, so high up that when you peek down, all you see is a deep black valley staring back. The path is narrow, super slippery, and in spots so sketchy that one strong gust of wind literally glues you to the wall. Rocks big and small keep tumbling down like the mountains warning you, "Watch it, I'm not asleep yet." Step inside and the air turns ice cold. The damp stone brushes your face and hits you with that centuries-old history smell. Standing there feels like you snuck into some ancient king's secret chamber. Except this chamber is dangling right on the edge of the sky. Sümele isn't just a religious spot. It's the most gorgeous, most terrifying proof of human guts and straight-up architectural madness. Wangxian Valley, China. People call China's Wangxian Valley Heaven's Crack, because this thing is so deep that the second you look down, it feels like the earth just ends. Picture this: a gorge squeezed between two giant cliffs, so narrow sunlight barely reaches the bottom. The wind acts weird here, dead calm 1 second, then suddenly screaming like some invisible force is shoving you toward the edge. Locals swear ancient spirits live down there, and at night you can hear creepy echoes bouncing around. The scariest part? That rocky path. One light rain and it turns into pure ice. One wrong step and it's nothing but black darkness waiting below. Trekkers get here and joke, if this is the road to heaven, the entry fee is straight up insane. But that's the truth. Wangxian Valley is drop-dead gorgeous and heart-stopping terrifying at the same time. Mount Laojun, China. First thing that hits you looking at Mount Laojun is, do people seriously climb this thing? Imagine a mountain whose peak disappears into the clouds, and to get there, you've got to walk on narrow wooden paths that look one storm away from collapsing. Some sections are just a single skinny plank with hundreds of feet of nothing underneath. One slip and it's game over, lights out. The wind rips so hard it feels like invisible hands are pushing you off the edge. Locals say ancient monks called these paths bridges to heaven, but most tourists today look at them and go, nah, this is death's suspension bridge. Once you finally make it up top, the mountain starts changing colors. Golden rocks, blue clouds, total silence everywhere. This place is as divine as it gets, and just as deadly. And honestly, that insane mix is probably where its real magic hides. So guys, there you have it. Those spots on Earth that are straight up beautiful and straight up dangerous. These locations remind us that humans went and built their dreams on mountains, in gorges, above the clouds, and in places that flirt with death. But every single one of these stories has the same message. Real adventure only shows up for the people crazy enough to push past fear. If you loved this wild, mysterious ride around the world, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe for the next round of weird, dangerous, and totally mind-blowing places.